Welcome back to Feasibility First. So you're probably out looking for land to buy. Maybe you've got some MLS listings that you pulled from a database, Zillow, Redfin, or maybe your real estate broker gave it to you. And you're looking to buy land, maybe build a house, a cabin, maybe recreational property or commercial. And so you're probably out looking for property maybe this weekend. And so I'm going to give you 6 takeaways today that's going to help you save a lot of time and frustration spinning your wheels looking at lots that don't actually pencil, or they're not feasible, they're not buildable, or they're not going to work for your intended purpose. So the 6 things today are, number 1, instead of driving out to Timbuk3 and looking at property, maybe you look at 5 or 10 properties, you're going to burn up the whole day. Try doing this. Go to your computer desktop, find the geospatial information website is GIS for your city, state, and county. For as an example, here in Pierce County, I would pull up Pierce County GIS. I'd Google search that. The website will pop up, and it is a treasure trove of information. It's going to be one of your best friends in feasibility. So I hope you pull it up, spend time to look at it, to study it, to research it, because it has a load of information that's going to really help you out. And I'm going to create some other videos where we take a deep dive into GIS. But know this, GIS is one of the tools that the pros use. When I say pros, I'm talking about the civil engineers. I'm talking about all builders, all developers, all engineers are using this technology. It's free to use. Go pull it up. And if you haven't seen it before, you're going to be blown away. So use the GIS. When you pull up the map, it's basically a spatial mapping system with intelligence. So when you pull that map up of that parcel that you're looking for, you can have different types of map views. And I like to use the hybrid. There's ortho, there's IR, there's all kinds of different map layers based on how much your city, county, or state is investing into the GIS system. But I like to use the hybrid so I can see the ortho, which is the building outlines if there's any buildings. And the first thing that I look at is the boundaries. I want to know exactly where the corners, are they 4 corners? Are they 15 corners on that property? You got to know the corners. And I'll give you another tip, is if you pull up your phone, and there's a lot of different sites online. Now, I like to use Onyx myself, Onyx Hunt, because I use it for personal reasons. It's very accurate. Most of these are very accurate to within 3 meters typically. Plus or minus 9-10 feet. That way, once you identify the parcel boundary, you can go on site and, within 10 feet or so, maybe 15 feet, pretty accurately come close to the boundary, and maybe you'll even see the survey rebar staking in the ground. So use that system. So when you're on the GIS map, look at the boundary. You click on the parcel, find all the corners, make sure that there's no parcel overlaps. Make sure that someone isn't advertising a 10-acre piece of property. But when you look at it on GIS, it's this little triangle. It's a sliver. Yes, it's 10 acres, but it's not really usable, or maybe it doesn't fit, what your intended use is. And then again, maybe it is. But you have to know what that parcel looks like. And where does the frontage, how does the frontage abut to the access point or intersection or road? So do you have just the tip of the triangle touching the road? So you really don't even have access if it comes to an exact point without getting an easement from your neighbors. Or maybe you have a panhandle, which is a long skinny strip, and then it opens up to a bigger, like a pan, like a frying pan. So that's what we call a panhandle shaped lot. Maybe it's a rectangular shaped lot, but if it's a rectangle, What if it's really long and skinny? I've seen so many of these parcels, and when you look at land, you'd be amazed at all the different polygon shapes. And some people advertise 5-acre lots or 5-acre lot, but it's really 2 parcels, and they're barely connected in the middle. They're just like 1,000 different orientation of land. So use the GIS, look at the parcel shape, find the boundaries, use your Onyx. Even Zillow, if you pull up Zillow map, it's got the geolocator, the little blue pin that will ping, and you can literally have it in your hand with a map system up, and you can see where you're at, and you walk over to the parcel. You can pull up the parcel on Zillow, on Redfin, and even on GIS. You can pull up GIS on your phone, and if you have a modern smartphone, you can find that map page and get real close to that boundary corner. So I've got a ton of things to talk about with feasibility studies. I'm really excited about feasibility. I think it's a valuable tool that every land buyer needs to have that tool in your tool bag. If you don't know how to do feasibilities, you're just guessing 100%. You're just 100% guessing. And maybe you're relying on a builder, and maybe they know 25% about this and 35% about that. But a lot of builders, they don't, they're good at framing and building a house, but most of them are not proficient at land development. Land development's a real unique skill. I've been doing it for a long time now, for many years. You can see some of my other videos where I talk about some of the homes that I've built, some of the plats, developments, neighborhoods that I've built. So what you want to do is you either hire an absolute pro, but they're going to charge you a lot of money. On the low end, maybe $2 to $3 grand per lot. Mid range is 4 to 5. High end is about 10 grand. And it depends on how much information you want. Now, if you hire someone and you spend thousands of dollars, now what if you find a red flag that's impassable? That is not going to work with that kind of slope. I don't want my house built on that slope. That critical area is not going to work because I'm going to build a shop and I need as much land as possible. I need 2 septic drain fields. I've got a well, and that wetland buffer is wiping out all my good usable land. So my recommendation is get your arms around your own feasibility. Learn it, because if you pay someone $5,000, that deal fails. Now you're gun shy, your fingers got burnt, you found another piece of property that you want to build on, but you're probably not going to spend another $5,000 to somebody else to roll the dice to see if that one's going to pass or fail like the last one did. So what are you left with? You're left with doing it yourself. But if you don't have the tools, if you don't have the knowledge, you're just rolling the dice, trying to talk to as many people as you can to learn as much as you can about the property, and then you'll make a semi-educated, not really, decision on buying the land. But one thing that you miss, like your zoning is off, or you miss that critical area, or the soil is Capalson and not Everett, or it's this and not that, or it has a certain percentage of clay in it and not enough sand. So there's like 1,000,001 things that can cause a feasibility to fail. And I'm going to show you with my checklists, my systems, how you can become proficient in land development. Do your own land development study, research, and after all, who cares more about the land than you do? You're going to buy it. You're going to spend the money, not the guy taking your $5,000, not the builder that's going to make $100,000. You're going to live there. And so you're going to make sure that every I is dotted, T is crossed. And when you do that, when you follow my system, no one's going to know the land better than you. And you're going to make sure that you don't jump in and invest in some piece of property that's not going to work. Because if you do, and you roll the dice without the information, you're going to have that property back on the MLS for sale with a broker, and you're going to start all over, and that's going to cost you thousands of dollars to remarket it, sell it. It's probably not going to go up that much in 6 months or a year. It might be a long-term hold. So use this information. I've got a lot of videos, some really interesting videos like this one, the GIS. Pull it up today and see how valuable this tool is. So one more time, take in your Google search bar, go city, Tacoma, Washington, Pierce County, and GIS. Girl, Indigo, Sam, GIS. Pop that in, use that link. It's amazing. So I know I'm talking a lot. I'm excited. I've got a lot to talk about, but I hope you use this information and find a lot of value with it. So for now, have a great feasibility study.